Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Whitford and I'll be going over the pros and cons from my experience of working in technical sales. And if you're watching now looking to maybe change career paths or just getting into the job market and considering a job in sales, hopefully this will be useful to you. But before we get into the video, if you wouldn't mind just hitting the subscribe button to your bottom right and giving the video a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. So starting with the pros, I'm probably going to be a bit biased towards the pros because I do work in technical sales and it's a job I really enjoy, but I've tried to make it as unbiased as possible. And I've also tried to think of pros and cons that aren't completely obvious. There might be some obvious ones in there, but I think there's aspects to the job that you don't realise until you're actually working in the job. So I try to include those as if you are looking to work in sales, you might not necessarily know this yourself. So the first pro is the ability to affect how much you earn. Compared to most jobs when you get a salary and you're expected to perform certain tasks, maybe work towards a project or work within a team, and you just keep on working around on those tasks, there's very little scope unless you get promoted to make more money. Whereas working in sales, you are paid based on how much you sell. So if you're working really hard, doing well at the job, selling a lot, you're going to get paid more. Whereas if you're working that hard in a different type of job where you get a salary, you might be more likely to get promoted, but that might be 3, 4, 5 years down the line. So you're not really going to get instantly rewarded. Another pro that I find working in sales is the skills that you learn as part of the sales job, sales process. You need to learn to present the product to customers, and sometimes they're not necessarily wanting to hear what you have to say. So that skill of presenting and having to, I guess, project your voice and get people to listen to you is really important. I think that transfers to all parts of life. Another skill is learning to negotiate with customers. It's not something you get taught at university or school. When I first had to negotiate with a customer, I didn't really know what to do, but the more and more times I did it, the better I got. And again, this applies to all aspects of life. If you're buying a car, anything you want to buy or sell, having those negotiation skills is going to save you a lot of money in the long term. Another big pro of working in sales is usually you don't need much experience, or if any experience, when you first get into sales. Companies realise that if you do a degree and you come straight from school to university, you're not necessarily going to have been taught anything about sales. So usually if you want to become a doctor, you have to go to university to get that degree in medicine. Same with a lawyer. But if you want to get into sales, depending on the company, you might not necessarily need a degree. Some companies want you to have a degree. But either way, they don't expect you to have any sales knowledge. And this can be really beneficial because they're going to invest in training you to become a good salesperson. And the fourth pro is generally sales is higher paying than other roles. There are obviously other jobs that you get paid more, but as a general, if you're doing well in sales, you're going to be making more money. The fourth pro of working in sales is that every company needs to make sales, otherwise it's going to fail. So if you're a good salesperson, you're always going to have a job within a company. As long as you can keep selling, your services and skills are going to be in demand. And the changes in the economy are going to have less of effect on good salespeople. Even if a company's or an industry is not doing so well, they still need to make sales. So if you're proven as a good salesperson, they're going to be relying on you and they're going to be happy to pay you as long as you're making them more money. Another benefit is not something I really considered until I started working in sales, is how varied the work days are. Some days you'll be working from home or the office, where you'll be kind of following up, quoting customers and chasing up and booking meetings for the rest of the week. And other days you'll be driving to customers on the meetings you booked up already and presenting the product and actually doing the physical selling of the product. Again, other office-based jobs, or now with COVID home-based roles, you are at a laptop 8 hours a day doing obviously varied work, but you are always in the same place, generally. Whereas in sales, if you're in field sales like me, you're driving all over your territory to visit customers. And it's something that I enjoy, the balance of working from home or the office some days of the week, and the rest of the time I'm out visiting customers. And the final pro is more of a long-term pro of working sales, and that it's very hard to automate. depending on what you're selling. In sales roles where it's quite a consultative sales process where the customer doesn't necessarily know too much about the product and you need to inform them and discuss exactly what they're looking for to then propose the right solution to them, that's very hard to automate, that process. So as more and more jobs in the future are getting automated, I know they have robots doing surgeries now, as technology improves, there are more and more jobs being automated, but a lot of sales roles are a long, long way from that automation. So now that we've gone over the pros of working sales, I'm going to be talking about the cons, and there are 4 that I can think of. The first con is that it can be a very stressful job. With every sales job, you're going to have targets. Most of them can be monthly targets, so having that constant stress of having to hit your monthly target is something that's can be too stressful for some people. Being able to deal with that is a big part of working sales. Another kind of work in sales is you have to keep up a high level of work all the time. If you stop and kind of take it easy for a bit, it's going to be very obvious because you'll stop selling. And being able to keep a high work ethic and high work level to book up meetings with customers, which then leads to more sales, is something you have to constantly work on. And in sales, it's impossible to hide behind other people. With other jobs, you might be working on a big group, or it might be a massive company where you have to work on a project, and that might take a year or so, and you can maybe take a few weeks off and just not work quite as hard if you're not really feeling motivated. And I work in field sales, so a lot of that is I spend quite a lot of time driving to customers, and I can rack up, I think 35,000 miles I did in the last year. Me personally, I enjoy driving, so it's not such an issue. Some people that don't really enjoy driving that much, or not to that level, maybe field sales isn't the role for you. The 4th and final con of working sales is there can be a bad stigma working sales. I haven't really noticed it myself in the job, but it's something that's always been in the back of my mind with films like Wolf of Wall Street that make salespeople out to be really unethical and they just want to sell no matter what. It's something that's, I think it's getting better, but especially in the past, and it's still around slightly, that sales can be thought of as a sleazy job, which I don't think it is at all. I really enjoy it. I think it's a needed profession, but some people, I think, have that opinion of sales. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. If there are any pros and cons that you know of working sales, maybe you work in sales yourself, please comment them down below. I'd be really interested to hear what you have to say. If you have any other questions about working sales, please do put them down below and I'll answer every single comment.